Pokémon, Pokémon, Pokémon.
Hey there everyone, it's Linkable again, welcome to another video. Recently we had the Pokemon Direct by Nintendo on their YouTube channel. I basically just want to talk about that quickly. They announced Pokemon Tournament, the deluxe edition for the Nintendo Switch, so it's going to be a port of the game, but it will include, I think it's like 5 new characters. 4 of them I believe are from the arcades in Japan, and then one's a new one which is the Decidueye? I think that's how you pronounce it. Green Arrow from Pokemon. And they also showed the Virtual Console versions of Pokemon Gold and Silver. For some reason they didn't show Crystal, and they haven't announced Crystal, but I don't know why not. But anyway, and the main thing they showed us that I really want to talk about is the new main series Pokemon games. Pokemon Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon, which are sort of sequels, sort of for installments of the games, sort of not all that, but they're meant to be alternative stories or parallel universes. We really don't know. It's only been 30 seconds of footage. It's a new main series Pokemon game, so to say, or I don't know. It's part of the main series games though, so that's the main thing you have to know. So like I said, these are, so to say, meant to be alternative stories, so you can sort of see that as potential parallel version or parallel universe to the normal Sun and Moon we have at the moment, and because of that I think we're going to get some major changes. So in this video I want to talk to you guys about my top 5 predictions on what I think we're going to see, or what I think is going to happen in these Ultra games. Now this is 100% my own speculation and opinion. If you guys have your own ideas or your own thoughts about these games, please leave them in the comments below. I'd love to hear what you guys have to say about this, or what you think about these Ultra games. And before we get started, if you enjoy this video, please leave a like. It would muchly be appreciated by me. It'll help the channel out. And yeah, if you want to subscribe, that'd be pretty cool. More Pokemon content on the way. But with all that being said, let's get straight to my top 5 predictions, and starting off number 1. So this is a common theory going around at the moment, and that's the fact of Pokemon gyms may actually come back to Gen 7, and this would replace the Pokemon trials we've received. And that's because of these 8 locations in Sun and Moon, where there could easily fit new gyms into the games for the player to battle and collect badges just like the previous generations. I honestly like this idea. I know it's the trials that make Alola more unique to the rest of the previous games, as this is an alternative story or parallel universe to Sun and Moon. I feel like this version of the games, Alola could have adapted the traditional Pokemon League from previous generations and how other regions do it, so maybe they've instead replaced their trials earlier than Sun and Moon may have or may eventually do. But at the moment we really don't know, but I'd like to see this prediction come true. I think it'd be interesting, especially if you had all the trial captains and kahunas be the new gym leaders, well, potential gym leaders. But I may do a follow-up video on this prediction later down the line, just to say who may be the gym leaders we may see from the trial captains and kahunas. Anyway, let's carry on. Number 2. So in the Direct, Junichi Masuda, I hope I pronounced that right, he confirmed that there will be new Pokemon that we haven't seen in Sun and Moon in these new games. But you gotta take that with a grain of salt, because normally with these new Pokemon in the same generation as a game we've just had, it's not normally a new Pokemon, it's actually more of a new form of a previous Pokemon. For example, Kyurem Black and Kyurem White from Black and White 2, they were new Pokemon forms, but they treated them as new Pokemon. We didn't see no new Pokemon besides the Solgaleo and Lunala new forms, which are potentially Necrozma armor, Prism armor type things, I don't know. But a couple ideas I had were potentially a third form for Lycanroc, which I would love, as he's my favourite Pokemon. I was thinking perhaps because we've had a midday and a midnight form, we could either have either Eclipse or Twilight form, somewhere in there. But then again, midday is the middle of the day, not the early day. It could have a dawn. I don't know. Either way, I feel like a third form would be awesome to have for Lycanroc. I think it was confirmed by data miners that there's room for, in the Pokedex, there's something after Lycanroc. So, but that could either mean a new form or maybe an evolution, but I think it's gonna be a form. Other than that, there's a chance we could finally see what Mimikyu's true form is. I like to think of itself as a bigger, creepier version of itself. There's a concept art or fan art online, and it's basically a giant Mimikyu with long creepy arms, but yet the cloth is still on its face. So I think that would be cool. But in the case of if we actually get new Pokemon, I think it will probably be more likely new Alolan forms of previous Pokemon we've already had. So these could potentially mean more variants of previous Kanto Pokemon, but I like to think we might get some Johto Pokemon that have got their own Alolan forms now. Since straight after the trailer they announced the Gen 2 Virtual Console games coming out, and There is a scene, and I don't think it's in the game, I think it's just part of the trailer. We're in the ruins of Alpha, I believe, and you have the unknown writing across the walls, and it says Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon. So I think that might be a little bit of a teaser there, so who knows, we might get some sort of ground type Mareep, we might get a dark fire Typhlosion, I didn't know. There's the possibilities are out there, but at the same time, I'm saying take it with a grain of salt, because I don't think we're really gonna get 100% new Pokemon. Even though I've predicted there won't be trials but instead gyms in this game, I still think we're gonna have Totem Pokemon as mini boss battles. But this time I think there'll be new additions or new replacements from the previous Totem Pokemon we've had. For example, I don't think we'll see Gumshoes and Raticate as their Totem Pokemon forms in Sun and Moon. So I feel like in Ultra Sun we're probably gonna have Lycanroc Midday form, and then in Ultra Moon we're gonna have Midnight form of Lycanroc as their new Totem Pokemon on Melemele Island. Another two possible Totem Pokemon we may receive are possibly Mimikyu again, and a new addition would be Togedemaru, as they have cutscenes within the trailer, which it's hard to tell because they're cinematic, but they could also mean potential exclusive Z moves. Talking about Z moves, another possibility, like I just said, is these Pokemon could receive their own exclusive Z moves, just like Snorlax did in the beginning of Sun and Moon. And maybe this is what we were seeing in the trailer, but regardless, I feel like we're still going to get more Z Crystal moves in the Ultra games. Similar to how X and Y introduced Mega Evolution, and then in Auras there was a lot more Mega Stones included in that game. Another interesting thing in the trailer to point out is the protagonist trainer now has a black Z ring instead of the traditional white one. This could just be a cosmetic change, but I just find it's a little bit interesting because to me, in my head, when it came up, I guess it's a little bit of a pseudo theory, I don't know. I felt like because of the Zekrom armor type forms for the legendaries, I feel like this could have some connection to Necrozma, and especially in the trailer you see a sort of cinematic cutscene where he twists the Z Crystal and I guess some type of energy comes out similar to Mega Evolution, or how the Z Crystals produce that energy. So I feel like the black Z ring will have some connection to Necrozma, but I really have no other solid evidence than that. It's just a pseudo little fan theory. And lastly on this list, thanks to GameXplain for pointing it out, and for Mr. Umbreon for doing a follow-up video to their video. I'll leave both links in the description below. What I want to say is, my final prediction is we're gonna see more islands in Alola. The reason behind this is the fact of, in the new legendary forms we see in the trailer, Solgaleo and Lunala have this triangle shape on the forehead of their armor. If you turn it upside down, or right side up, whichever way you want to say, it looks very similar to the Trial Amulet we received early in the game of Sun and Moon. Within this triangle, there is multiple colors. Now the amulet we received for part of the trials is there's 4 colors in the center, which are yellow, pink, red, and purple. And they represent the islands we visit, so the 4 islands of Alola. As each one of the islands is named after a color, we have Melemele, which is the first island we visit, which means yellow. We have Akala, meaning pink. We have Ula Ula is red, and Pony is purple. I can't remember all that off by heart, so I had to look at my screen. But the triangle on the legendary Pokemon now, instead of having pink, it replaces it with orange, green, blue, and light blue. This could potentially mean we're seeing 4 new islands instead of returning back to Akala. Maybe Akala Island has broken up into these new 4 islands, or maybe Akala has potentially been destroyed by its own volcano. Maybe the volcano has erupted, but because of the seismic activity it may cause, that is the reason why it will now split off into several, keeping the towns and all sorts together. Now let's just space them out. It'll be similar to how, I think it's the Seafoam Islands in the Johto games when you return back to Kanto. So it might be a similar thing there, might be a little bit of a callback, but it's something we'll have to wait and see for that in the Ultra games. If we do get new islands based on these colors, then the islands we'll be visiting are, and we'll have to look at the screen again, Alani Island, which means orange, Oma Oma O, which means green, that is awesome to say. And technically, because there's no Hawaiian translation or Hawaiian word for light blue, I can't use it, but interesting enough though, there's 2 words that mean blue. So one island could be called Polo Island, and the other being Uli Uli Island. Now, fun fact, Uli Uli also means any dark color, so I don't know if that was going to maybe play into something to do with perhaps Necrozma, or maybe something to do with the Ultra Beast, but I just thought it was interesting to say, so there you go, fun fact of the day. Ula Ula means any dark color in Hawaii. Now finally, if there are new islands in these games, this could potentially mean we may see new trial captains in case the gym prediction's wrong, or potentially see new characters who could be the gym leaders of the Ultra Alolan region, I guess you can call them, or perhaps new kahunas. Other new additions could be new Pokemon forms, like maybe Oricorio receiving new forms, perhaps one based on grass, the air of ground, and then water and ice types. I think that would be pretty cool because those types go with the same colors of the new islands I'm predicting. I may be introducing new Alolan variant Pokemon. I really want to see a Crystalnex. I think it would be so cool to have that. But I love predicting things, but sometimes, you know what, you can really hype up a game and it might not even happen that way. So anyway, that's been my 5 predictions. Anyway, thank you for watching this video. Tell me in the comments what you think of these predictions, or if you have any of your own. I'd like to hear what you have to say. I'll be there in the comment section below with you guys, replying back to you all, discussing further what we may potentially see, or discussing what I've just said in this, or what you guys predict, or just generally what you want to see, really. I'll be trying to cover as much as I can, or share what I think with all the new news as we'll be getting over the next however many months until the release of the Ultra games. But anyway, I've been Link Cable, thank you for watching, stay connected, and I'll see you guys next time. Maybe going further into further details on what I said in this previous video. God damn it!